The boots hit the pavement before the sun does. You're already awake when the loudspeaker cracks through the dark. Orders, slogans, loyalty recited like oxygen. You stand in formation, spine locked, eyes forward, no hesitation. Hesitation is noticed, not today, not ever. A portrait watches you from the concrete wall. You don't look at it directly, you don't need to, it sees you. Around you, thousands of uniforms breathe in unison. No one speaks freely, no one moves freely, every movement is permission, every word is surveillance. And somewhere above you, behind layers of ranks and medals and fear, someone decides who eats well and who disappears. The question isn't whether you are loyal. The question is, how far up this system can you climb before it consumes you? Because this isn't just a military. It's a ladder built on obedience. And every rung costs something human. Power hierarchies aren't unique to one nation. They are ancient, primal, they shape corporations, gangs, empires, but inside the military elite of North Korea, hierarchy becomes oxygen. It decides your housing, your food, your family's survival. It decides whether you are seen or erased. Today, you will live every level of that climb. From the lowest recruit standing in rigid silence to the highest general who commands armies yet sleeps with one eye open. You'll see the daily reality, the psychological transformation, the fear, the ego, the isolation, the cost. And as we move upward, watch what happens to your empathy. Watch what happens to your sleep. Watch what happens to your humanity. Because the higher you rise in a closed system built on loyalty and fear, the less room there is to be human. You begin at the bottom. You are a conscripted soldier. Your head is shaved, your individuality stripped. Your day starts before dawn and ends long after exhaustion sets in. You train, you march, you memorize doctrine, you repeat ideological lessons until the words echo in your dreams. Your daily reality is physical strain and psychological conditioning. You clean weapons, you patrol, you perform drills not just for readiness but for display. Discipline is public, so is punishment. You are watched by your squad leader, your political officer, your peers, any of them can report you. Fear keeps you aligned, not dramatic fear, quiet fear, the kind that whispers don't stand out. Psychologically, you shrink. Ego is dangerous here. Ambition must be invisible. You learn to blend in, to obey before an order is fully spoken. If you fail, it's not just you who suffers. Your family can be investigated, opportunities vanish, assignments change. In systems like this, consequences ripple outward. To rise, you must become flawless, not brilliant, not creative, flawless, predictable loyalty, physical excellence, no complaints, no hesitation. You trade individuality for safety. Some of you would survive here, many would break internally long before showing it externally. But if you endure, you become a non-commissioned officer. Now you command. A small unit, 10, maybe 20 men, you enforce discipline, you wake them, you inspect them, you report on them. You are no longer just watched, you are responsible for watching. Your daily life shifts from pure obedience to controlled authority. You still answer upward, but downward you are law. And here something subtle changes. Authority reduces empathy. You begin to see mistakes not as human errors but as threats to your own safety. If your squad underperforms, you are blamed, so you become harder, colder, sharper with your words. Fear doesn't disappear, it multiplies. You fear your superiors, your subordinates fear you. And paranoia begins to form. Who among your men resents you, who might report you to appear loyal? In rigid hierarchies, betrayal isn't emotional, it's strategic. To climb higher, you must prove ideological purity, attend extra sessions, volunteer for difficult assignments, show visible devotion, not exaggerated. Exaggeration looks suspicious, controlled devotion. You sacrifice friendships, you can't be too close to your men, closeness clouds judgment. Next, you become a junior officer. Your uniform changes, your housing improves, your access expands slightly. Now you attend strategy briefings, you coordinate training schedules, you write reports that shape evaluations. Your daily reality becomes paperwork and performance. You must look competent, sound competent, think in alignment with doctrine. You're expected to inspire loyalty while demonstrating unwavering loyalty upward. This is where ego grows. You've climbed, you've survived, you begin to believe you're different. But this system doesn't reward uniqueness, it rewards conformity at a higher level. Psychologically, isolation increases. Your old peers see you as authority now, your superiors see you as replaceable. You exist in between, alone in both directions. The risks escalate: a misinterpreted comment during a meeting, a subordinate's failure during inspection, a minor logistical error. In tightly controlled regimes, small mistakes can be framed as ideological weakness. To move higher, you must become politically intelligent, not just militarily capable. You must read rooms, anticipate shifts, echo the right sentiments before they are demanded. Ask yourself, would you play that game well, or would your honesty betray you? From here you rise to senior officer, colonel, brigade commander. Now you oversee hundreds, perhaps thousands. Your days are filled with inspections, readiness drills, loyalty demonstrations. You coordinate with party officials. Political oversight intensifies. Power feels heavier. You can influence careers, you can shape who advances and who stalls. But every decision is documented, every conversation potentially reported. Paranoia is no longer background noise, it's constant. You sleep in better quarters, eat better meals, your family benefits, access to exclusive stores, better medical care. And this is where the system tightens its grip. Privileges create dependency. You cannot imagine falling now, because falling doesn't mean discomfort, it means disgrace, investigation, erasure from relevance. Psychologically, you rationalize harsh decisions, punishments become necessary, surveillance becomes responsible leadership. When authority expands, empathy contracts, not because you are evil, because the structure demands emotional distance to function. To rise further, you must prove something deeper: absolute reliability during a crisis, political alignment beyond question, no scandals, no rumors. Your circle shrinks, trust becomes a luxury. Above you stands the general class. You enter rooms where strategy meets politics directly. You advise on military posture. You oversee entire regions or branches. Your daily life is now under constant pressure. You manage resources. You ensure loyalty within loyalty. The state relies on you. But the state also fears you. In authoritarian hierarchies, powerful generals are both assets and potential threats. History teaches leaders to watch their strongest commanders closely. So you are honored publicly, monitored privately. Psychologically, isolation peaks. You cannot speak freely even with peers. Conversations are measured, smiles calculated. You've gained immense authority, yet your freedom has narrowed. One wrong alignment during internal political shifts could redefine your entire legacy overnight. To reach the very top tier, the elite inner circle of the highest military leadership, you must become more than competent. You must become symbolically loyal. You appear at ceremonies, you stand near supreme power during parades, cameras capture your posture. Every gesture matters. Now your decisions affect national security, international tension, military doctrine. But the psychological weight is crushing. You cannot show doubt, you cannot show fatigue, you cannot show ambition beyond your assigned role. Because at this altitude, ambition looks like a threat. The higher you rise, the fewer genuine allies remain. Everyone near you is ambitious, calculating, survival-oriented. Power isolates leaders because vulnerability becomes dangerous. And here is the paradox: you command divisions, yet your own life is delicately balanced on perception. If political winds shift, if loyalty is questioned, if a crisis demands a scapegoat, even if you're not untouchable. So you double down on control, on discipline, on ideological clarity. But control is an illusion. At the top of rigid hierarchies, dominance doesn't create safety, it amplifies exposure. You now understand something the recruit never could. The system doesn't just demand obedience. It demands transformation. From young soldiers seeking survival, to commanders who suppress doubt, to generals who must appear unbreakable. Each rank required you to lose something. Spontaneity, trust, empathy, rest. And the rewards: status, privilege, influence. But never peace. So ask yourself honestly, At which level would you begin to change? Would you remain the quiet soldier, surviving by invisibility? Would you enforce discipline as a squad leader, knowing fear keeps you safe? Would you navigate politics as an officer, shaping your words to survive rooms filled with hidden agendas? Or would you chase the top, knowing the higher you climb, the lonelier it becomes? Because here's the final truth about elite military hierarchies in closed systems. Power is not freedom. It is a responsibility wrapped in surveillance. It is a privilege wrapped in pressure. It is authority wrapped in isolation. The recruit fears punishment. The general fears betrayal. And at the very top, the fear is different. It is the fear of losing control over a machine built on control. When you study structures like this, you're not just studying one nation's military. You're studying human nature under pressure. You're studying what happens when loyalty becomes currency. When fear becomes glue. When hierarchy becomes destiny. So the real question isn't whether you could rise. It's whether you would still recognize yourself if you did. Because in systems built on obedience, survival rewards those who adapt. But adaptation has a cost. And sometimes, the highest rank is just the loneliest cage. If you want to keep exploring the hidden mechanics of power, control, and survival inside closed systems, stay close. There are more ladders to climb. And not all of them lead somewhere worth reaching.